Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the family who had grazed cattle around your community for decades had quietly packed everything they owned and disappeared. Their cattle were gone, their huts were empty. The grazing fields they once occupied had fallen silent. No farewell, no celebration, just a quiet departure. Across parts of southern Nigeria, this is no longer just a story, it's a reality reported in some communities. Not a nationwide exodus, and not every Fulani pastoralist. But according to recent reports, some pastoralist families have begun relocating from certain areas, citing insecurity, cattle theft, ethnic profiling, and fears for their safety. The question is, why are they leaving? And perhaps even more importantly, what could this mean for Nigeria if the trend expands? Stay with us, because this story is far more complex than the headlines suggest. For decades, Nigeria has been home to millions of Fulani people. Some are teachers, some are doctors, some are politicians, many are traders, and many others are pastoralists whose lives revolve around cattle. For generations, these pastoralist families have moved seasonally across different regions in search of pasture and water, a practice that long predates Nigeria's independence. Their cattle have supplied beef, milk, hides, and leather to markets across the country, supporting thousands of butchers, transporters, market traders, and small businesses. In many towns, cattle markets have become important economic centers, linking northern producers with consumers throughout Nigeria. But over the last decade, this centuries-old way of life has come under increasing pressure. Violent clashes between farmers and armed herders have claimed lives and destroyed livelihoods. Kidnapping and banditry have spread across several parts of the country. Communities have become more suspicious of unfamiliar herders. Several states introduced anti-open grazing laws. At the same time, many innocent pastoralist families say they have increasingly been viewed with suspicion because criminal groups involved in violent attacks are often described as Fulani. Whether fairly or unfairly, this perception has profoundly affected relationships between some communities and pastoralists. According to recent reports, some Fulani settlers living in parts of southern Nigeria say they no longer feel safe. Some claim they have experienced cattle rustling. Others report threats. Some say they have been pressured to leave communities where they had lived peacefully for years. As a result, a number of families have reportedly decided to relocate, some moving to other parts of Nigeria, while others are said to be crossing into neighboring West African countries where they believe conditions may be more favorable for livestock farming. It is important to understand what these reports do and do not say. They do not suggest that all Fulani pastoralists are leaving Nigeria. They do not indicate a nationwide migration. Rather, they describe some families in certain locations making difficult decisions because of local conditions. Even so, the development has raised important questions. If communities continue to lose experienced cattle breeders, could it affect Nigeria's food supply? Could beef become more expensive? Could the country's already fragile livestock sector face new challenges? Or could this moment encourage a long overdue transformation from open grazing to modern ranching? These are questions that deserve careful examination, not through rumors or fear, but through evidence and balanced discussion. In the next chapter, we'll examine the reasons these families say they are relocating, hear the concerns of farming communities, and explore why one of Nigeria's oldest ways of life is facing one of its greatest tests. The story is only beginning,